Hey, welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to WTF. Yes, the podcast that tackles those tough conversations that nobody wants to talk about. I always like to start off saying that this show is brought to you by God because the Most High woke you up today, woke me up today, and we're blessed to share this thing called life and talk about these subjects. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 3. I'm your host, Bambino Brown, and I got a good subject today. Today, we're going to talk about black massacres in the United States. We're going to talk about mainly one that in particular that's in Los Angeles, because I can relate to that one more because I know so many people that were part of that community. And we're going to dive right on into it. Unfortunately, my guest didn't make it today. So all you got is me for this ride. But it's going to be a good ride. So buckle up, because sometimes when you're watching stuff, you're like, what the is everybody else watching? Why are we talking about Usher and the Super Bowl and Taylor Swift and blah, 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 bull, yay is crazy all day long. I mean, it's just the same media all day. But then when it comes to things like Tulsa, Oklahoma, I can name so many massacres. I'm going to pull it up in a second. On our own soil, when we're talking about elite black neighborhoods that have been basically destroyed and massacred in the United States, nobody wants to talk about that. We got to talk about Usher's dancing at the Super Bowl and all this bull crap all day, which is cool. I get it. We want to be entertained and all of that. But it's time for African Americans, for black people in America, to start talking about these uncomfortable topics. And I think these topics that we're going to talk about today, which is Sugar Hill, an elite black neighborhood that was part of the Los Angeles area and inner city in the 60s, late 50s and 60s, is such an intriguing story. And there's so many different stories. This one caught me because, of course, it's in a neighborhood that I can relate to. And we have that neighborhood no longer exists, Sugar Hill. There are still people that still live in the area, and the properties there are well above the $1 million threshold in value, some in the 2s and 3s because of the square footage of those homes. And when you talk about real estate in America, View Park, Windsor Hills, and Ladera Heights were, I believe, the top 3 rated the top 3 black neighborhoods on a survey that they did. I think the next 2 were in Atlanta, and then there was a couple in Maryland. That poll came out maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And after that, it just seems like the gentrification in View Park, Windsor Hills, and Ladera Heights skyrocketed. And I feel like, to grow up in those neighborhoods, to grow up right off of Slauson, and if you saw a white person, it was like, I think like 2 white people in our neighborhood that we knew about. And it was like a deal. Now you wake up every day and you see so many white people walking through our neighborhoods. And this is not a racist thing. Black people don't have enough power to be racist. We can be prejudiced, but we can't be racist. But it's just a topic that needs to be had because it's starting to spiral out of control, and we lose our power, and we lose our strength. We lose our homes in these areas because we're getting priced out of our own areas. And when you look at places like Arcadia, let's give an example, Arcadia, you see the Taiwanese people who are in Arcadia, and they own, I would say, like 99% of the homes. If we try to buy a home, if your loan app says, or your offer from your agent shows your name as, Leroy Jackson or Draymond Green, do you think they're going to look at your offer? No, but we don't call them racist, right? But when black people start to build our own communities, for some reason, they always want to call us, you're being racist, as if we can be racist. We don't even have you're being racist. Why you always pull the race card? Says the people who dealt the race card. I mean, 400 years we've been dealing with the race card. We couldn't even walk into banks in the 60s. We know the banker story that I spoke on the last episode, Bernard Garrett and his family. You couldn't even walk in the bank to get a loan in the 60s and 70s. And they would just look at you like, well, you can't even take a meeting. Get out of here, black man. So like I said, in Arcadia, let's talk about Hancock Park in LA, for instance. The Jews run Hancock Park. So if your application doesn't say Steinberg or one of those Jewish popular names, like Draymond Green is on your loan or your offer from your agent, I doubt very seriously they're going to take your offer. They're going to find someone of their own ethnicity, and they're going to put them in the home. Now, they're not going to lower the price for them. They're going to give them current market value, but they're going to give it to their own people. And how come they're not considered racist for that? They're just supporting their own culture. And I think that's what we want to do. We want to have thriving black communities with our own faces so our kids can grow up around, their own people, and not to hate on any other people. Of course, you're going to have so many white friends. And I want all my white friends to start speaking up on this too, because reparations comes into play. And I have a lot of friends that are Democrats, and I used to be a Democrat. And now I'm just independent because I don't trust either side. I feel like both sides should fight for our votes and show us the leader that's going to give us the most for our votes. But Democrats tend to follow Biden, who doesn't even want to talk about reparations. I almost lost my train of thought. Forgive me. I don't have a guest here today, so it's going to be a tough one. Usually I bounce off of somebody, but right now I'm bouncing off myself. Pops, you were supposed to show up today. Such an honor to do a podcast with my dad. He'll be back next week with a special guest. But back to reparations. Biden doesn't want to even talk about it. You ain't black if you don't vote for me. Biden, what about reparations for 400 years? What? Oh, we don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about Israel and all the funds and trillions we're sending there. Let's talk about Ukraine. Can anybody, you out there in the comments, tell me, why are we in Ukraine again? Anybody? Anybody know why? Like, seriously, do you know why? Do you know why we're in Israel? Oh, yeah, the Gaza, the Hamas did what? You think you know, but we really don't know. And we can't even really fix the neighbor's house until we fix our own house. It's like, I always say that analogy, like, you're going to paint your neighbor's house when your house is jacked up? What the f***? This is why the show is called What the F***, because there's so many what the f*** moments out here today. And with black people, I think the what the f*** is like our obsession with entertainment, as opposed to being obsessed with the well-being of our people who have been traumatized with the American experience. And I know so many people say the land of the free and it's the best nation in the world, but I mean, it falls last in so many categories. It's first in most incarcerated humans on earth. Yes, we have the largest population of incarcerated humans per capita in the world. We have the highest amount of racism, arguably, in the world. So when you talk about great how? It was great for the white American experience when you had free labor and you had generational wealth to give your own people. But we're going to talk about generational wealth and the possibilities of reparation amongst black people. Now, it is, before I dive into Sugar Hill, which is the topic of today, I want to talk about Black History Month. Happy Black History Month to everybody out there. Even though they gave us the shortest day of the month, they always give us some shady stuff. But anyway, happy Black History Month. I want everybody to know that I'm rocking a black chain. I got on my black style. I got on my black watch. This is a Renaud watch. Renaud is a young black man who's doing watches, and it's my boy, Mikey Ronaldo. Make sure you go support. You can go on my Instagram, Bambino's World. Everything is at Bambino's World, as you can see right there on the screen. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe to my channel, and pass it around. I want you to at people. I want you to comment and send this to people that you feel like will comment and rub them the wrong way, or people that need to hear it, especially entertainers. Please forward this to all the entertainers that aren't doing anything in the community but pumping genocide and poison and not balancing that out with helping the community so we can build more Sugar Hills and Black Wall Streets and things of that nature. So back to Black History Month. Again, this is a black designer, watch designer. This shirt, WTF, we have them on the site now. It's just to market and promote this podcast so that we can get a positive word out there. We always like to start with tough topics, but we always end with a positive message at the end of the show to make everybody think, but leave with something positive that we can actually make these challenging topics come to fruition in a positive way. So go grab a t-shirt, yo. I got the black ones and I got the white ones. 25 boinksters. I'm gonna put my Cash App up there, or you can just inbox me and I'll get your t-shirt out to you. Black or white. It don't matter if you're black or white. So yo, let me throw on my glasses, my reading glasses, not my Lokes, my reading glasses. And let's go over some black massacres in America. Check it out. Okay. So when we think of black massacres, we think of slavery, of course. We think of Jim Crow and all that stuff, but it's so many actual physical massacres throughout the country. Chicago, 1919. Springfield, Illinois. East St. Louis, 1917. Springfield was 1908. Tulsa, Oklahoma, we all know Black Wall Street, that was 1921. That needs to be a movie. I don't know how Denzel and them haven't done that movie yet, but I'm sure it's coming. Actually, I'm going to help write that with y'all. Vicksburg, what state is that? I'm bad with that. I know it's right next to Louisiana. Vicksburg, I think that's Alabama. Clinton, 1875. Elaine. Oh, here we go. I don't got to read it. Thank you, Mike, for throwing that up on the screen. Look at all these massacres, y'all. Do y'all see this? Is that crazy? These are all massacres where the government or white Americans came in and destroyed black communities. And they say stuff like, reparations? We're all free now. What are you talking about? But they bomb Hiroshima and they give the Japanese reparations. You know, the Holocaust, they give Jews reparations. Black people who have millions and millions of deceased, traumatized, displaced, redlined, murdered, raped, and way more than any of those other two incidents that I spoke about. And yet we don't even have therapy programs. We don't have any financial, they gave us black colleges, but you got to pay for them. No loans, no 40 acres and a mule, none of that stuff. So when we talk about, you know, black wealth in this country, it's a touchy subject because so many people feel like, even you hear black Republicans sometimes who have made it out of the struggle, however, by whatever means, it's free. All you've got to do is just work. And that's, I get what they're trying to say. You get educated. This is a free country. You can make some moves if you're lucky, but it's hard when you come from nothing. And like Martin Luther King said, you know, they tell you to pull your bootstraps up. Well, a bootless man, how are you going to pull his bootstraps up? You have white people that come from histories of generational wealth that are still struggling in America today. It's not the old America where one income can afford to pay for a family, a house, and kids, and take care of the wife and the children like America once was. So now you need two incomes in a household, and if you're black, you can't go into certain banks. I know firsthand. I do real estate, and where I'm at with the real estate, and I've sold a numerous amount of homes, right? Let's say in the hundreds almost now. I go in the bank and still have a problem. I still have to fight and show my tax returns and show where my mentors who are white and older than me, who have taught me, and shout out to them because they actually did show me some game, and how they walk into the bank and put their feet up on the desk. They go in and, are you going to give me this loan or what? Or I'm going to go down the street and get a better interest rate. John, I've seen them do that. I was there sitting in the back like, damn. I go into the bank like, Master, can I please get a loan? I've been a good boy. I've sold like 50 properties making your bank so much money, Master. Could I please get a loan, please? And they just make it so fucking hard. Where the white boys who, you know, go in there, flexing their weight, which they have more assets and credit is probably the same, but they have, you know, a bigger portfolio. But it's way different. I can't go in the bank and get even close to what they get. I know another cat who's a business partner of mine, and he's white, my dog. I'm not going to say any names, but he goes in the bank and gets better rates and better loans than me, and he has less assets. His financial portfolio and financial statements can't compare to mine, but he walks in and gets better deals. Why is that? And I'm not you know, my boys call me yellow all the time. Y'all see what I look like. But they know I'm not one of them. They know I'm not, they know my name is Brown, and they know I'm black. I mean, come on, you can hear the twang in my voice. They just know. And even if they think I'm Puerto Rican or Arab, whatever they think I am, they know I ain't one of them. I'm not a good old boy, so I'm not getting the good old boy rates. So that's in 2024, right? And after showing history of having financial success with these banks, it's still tough is my point. Blessed to be able to have the relationships, but it's tough nonetheless. But imagine in 1960 or 50 or 1970 and 80, but go back to the 50s and 40s when they were still hanging Negroes and killing Negroes and getting away with it. No social media, no, the day of cameras now, you see how many police brutality stories and all of this stuff. And imagine back then. Imagine how hard it was. I mean, you look at Bernard Garrett, he couldn't go in to get a loan, right? He had to put he partnered up. Go watch the movie The Banker. Great movie. Samuel L. Jackson's in it. I forget the other brother. He's a popular dude too. I'm bad with names and shit like that. He's a big actor. Great movie, The Banker. Go watch it. I think it's on Apple TV. I had it on Apple TV. And you can find it anywhere. But it's about this brother who moved from the Midwest, moves to the West Coast, and he starts buying up property in the black communities. But he wants blue-collar tenants. Same like I'm doing now. I'm sick of the whole, people think Section 8 is cool and all that. I mean, you get your money from them, but it's a tough cookie to deal with the Section 8 tenants because, unfortunately, it's just tough. You know what you're dealing with when you do it. It can be stressful. That's very active income as opposed to passive income. What he did was he set up his model to where he was finding blue-collar tenants, so it became more of a passive income. Once you rent it out, it's a great family. They have kids. They have a garage. They want to live there. They're renting, but they want to stay. They care about their credit, and they're going to make their rent payments. So another white gentleman, I believe he was Irish, took a liking to Bernard Garrett. Now, forgive me, I'm not giving you the exact story, but they partnered up, and Bernard decides, or the white dude decides to make Bernard the face to go get properties and get the tenants because he was able to speak the language to black people and get those blue-collar black tenants. The Irish guy was able to go into the bank to sway the bank to give them money to go buy the property. So they were a partnership. But on paper, because the white dude, Irish dude had to go into the bank, he didn't put Bernard's name on the paperwork. So he was going in to get the deals, and then Bernard would help by getting them rented out. So they had a perfect marriage, and they grew their empire huge. The Irish dude dies suddenly, and then his wife decides to screw the brother Bernard Garrett out of his portion of the property. So he had to rebuild it again, and he found a brother who Samuel L. Jackson plays, the other guy. Bernard, Mike, can you look this up in the back so I can tell him the name? It's Bernard Garrett, and I forget the other gentleman's name. I'm drawing up a blank right now. I believe it's Chris. Anyway, Samuel Jackson plays the other brother who he ends up partnering with after the white investor dies. So they start building up the portfolio again. So now they're same model. They're getting these blue collar areas, and they're getting bankers, and I'm sorry, not bankers. They're getting like regular 9 to 5, whether it be plumbers, doctors. They're getting great tenants to fill their properties up, and their business is growing crazy. They try to go in the bank and get a loan, and the bank won't even take a fucking meeting with them. Won't even take the meeting. So they go downtown to the Cooper building. You guys know the Cooper building. I know all you Negroes in LA. Remember we used to go to the Cooper building to get Levi's and all the fly clothes back in the day because they had them for cheap. Anyway, the Cooper building is one of the biggest, tallest buildings. It was the tallest building at the time, or the biggest building in downtown at this particular time. They go into the bank. They can't get it. They can't even get a fucking meeting. Pardon my French. Beep that out later. They can't get a meeting. So they decide, you know what? Let's try to buy the whole building. So they go to their investor. They make it happen. They buy the whole building with the LLC. They put their white worker as the face of the LLC so he could go talk to the dude who was selling it, and they're able to secretly buy the building. So now the bank has to do business with them because guess what? I own the building and I'm your landlord, whole bank. That was the only way they were able to get loans back then. Long and skinny, make a long story short, the FBI comes in, finds out that his brother's behind the deal. They also have been doing stuff back in Texas where they were buying banks, and they sabotage the whole business and destroy the whole portfolio, which in today's economy equated to over $100 million. Shout out to Tony Garrett and Chris Garrett and the Garrett family that's still here in LA. I never knew the Garretts, who I know by name because they're popular in LA, were related to this situation. I didn't know till I saw the movie, and I made a post on Facebook, and someone said, man, you know that's Tony and them's dad. I couldn't believe, I was blown away because I was so intrigued by that story, being a real estate guy. Now, my point here.
Bernard Garrett and Joe Morris.
Joe, thank you, Mike. I said Chris. Joe Morris and Bernard Garrett. Google that. Google their story. It's going to piss you off if you're black. If you're white, you're just probably going to say, oh, well, they probably were drug dealers. You know, it's always a reason why Negroes get there. Black, Tulsa, Oklahoma. What's the reason why they blew it up? Ask your average white person, hey, why'd they murder all the people and destroy such a large city? How big would that city have been had they not bombed it and the American government blew it up and killed all the people there and displaced them? If you don't know the story of Tulsa, Oklahoma, 21 Black Wall Street, they were pushed out of the communities, couldn't get loans. Same situation like I'm just telling you. So they built their own city where they had the first bus lines. They're historic for having a lot of innovative things there. Everyone dressed in suits. And so here comes white America to bomb it. They claim some dude raped a white girl outside the city. Of course, they always throw the twist in there. Then they blow it all up. And then, okay, no, how about those Dodgers? Let's talk about something else. Well, Black Wall Street, we don't want to talk about that. Keeps happening over history. I just showed you the massacres. It happens over and over and over. And all we want to talk about is Usher dancing and spinning on Super Bowl. I'm sick of that. All while demoralizing Usher, putting him in skirts and having him tell him, hey, do your Super Bowl smile. I'm so sick of us being distracted from these real topics by media and sports and all the things they think we like. You know what I'm saying? And it's a balance in life. I get it. I'm a fucking Libra. It's balance in life. Yeah, you should do a little of this, have fun, but we got to focus on getting our communities right. We can't ask anybody. I think that's the whole thing with reparations I'm seeing. We keep asking. Why do we keep asking? Why don't we build our own fund to do our own form of reparations? Maybe we should ask Jay-Z. You think? Maybe we should ask Elon Musk to help. Maybe we should ask Kanye. Maybe we should get all of these brothers around and not just entertainers, big doctors, guys who have businesses that are Forbes 500 that are African-American to come together and say, hey, let's build our own banks. Let's build our own investment mortgage companies. Why are we still always asking, please, please, white man, you see what you did to us? Please. No, they don't care. Fuck you. Pull your bootstraps up. Stop complaining. Everything's free. I mean, everything's fair. God, get a job. Even though I got a head start way up here, we're still racing to the same end point. Stop complaining. Be quiet. Go get some Jordans. The $300 billion man Jordan that kids get killed over those shoes. Where's the Jordan Center in the neighborhoods to help the kids? Let's talk to Jordan. What are we doing? What the movie are y'all watching? So we're just going to support all these entertainers, but they're not going to come back to our communities and do it. They're going to do like DJ Khaled and say, and Puffy and so many have said, and I respect these dudes. I listen to them. I've supported them. I buy their products. But they say shit that pisses me off sometimes. I would love to have y'all on here because I'll tell you to your face. You should be inspired by me. You know, I'm the biggest bosses and all that. Be inspired by me. You know, look at what I'm doing. And that's cool and all. I get that mindset. We should be inspired by people that are successful. But what are you Negroes doing in the communities? What are you doing? How are we not all doing something collectively? Why are we still allowing genocide to run and rampant in our communities when we know that they come and sabotage every time we do something well? Now let's talk about Sugar Hill in LA. Sugar Hill was an elite area in LA. You know how they call Ladera Heights the Black Beverly Hills of today? That was it in the 60s, right? In the 50s. So I get this text message, email rather, or forward about Sugar Hill. So I look into it. I'm like, wow. So I post it because I like to post when I see something that I'm not hip to. And then everybody says, my aunt says, we had a house over. My great aunt says, we had a house over there. That's where your cousin Tammy was born. And your grandmother used to come over there and da-da-da-da-da. And, you know, so-and-so lived down the street. And then my boy Jay, it says, oh, my grandfather was one of the pioneers of Sugar Hill. He had, an insurance company. I'm drawing a blank on the name of their insurance company, but they had one of the first black insurance companies. I know Norman O. Houston, his park was named after him. So a lot of people that I know have family that grew up in Sugar Hill. Now, this is a big area. This is like West Adams area, all the way south of the 10, north of the 10, and east and west. So you're talking about like Arlington area. You're talking about West Adams, all the way back, I think, damn near to USC. So you're talking about a large area of elite black people. Now, when we talk about these areas, right, at this time, it was a white area. Of course, everything was at first. Black people started moving in, and white people had a problem with that. But everything's fair and equal, right, white America? But when black people started moving to their areas, this is what they did. Sorry, black people, it's in our bylaws when we created this community of Sugar Hill that there could be no African Americans over here. How dare you guys sell a house to an African American? This is the 60s, y'all. Our grandparents were still alive, just to give you some reference. So this wasn't that long ago, right? So they actually got it in the bylaws that black people couldn't be a part of. So now black people get together, they get some elite attorneys, they get some elite activists. I'm not going to say any names because I haven't totally done enough research to speak on the names, but I know the gist of what happened. So like, share, comment. If you see something that's not here, correct me. But for the most part, it's right. And you can add and fix it around and add to it because there's so many moving parts. We can't even cover this in 1 hour of this show. So the black people get together. You know, of course, the entertainers and the people that can make a difference by getting the word out a little bit better. They get a couple of attorneys and they take it to the courts. Now, the courts are actually, this goes to court for many years. It's that serious. What I'm thinking is, how in the did they get it to court to say, to even be an argument that black people can't even move over here? Could you imagine today if we told white folks they couldn't move in Ladera Heights not because we're prejudiced, but because we're just trying to uplift ourselves and make sure black people grow up. You know, kind of how you wanted to do in Sugar Hill and every city in the United States of America, you know, kind of like that. Like Tulsa, Oklahoma, and every city in America that you do that with. So if we tried it in can we have one little city? No, we can't even have that. Y'all gonna burn that down. And we'll get to the fear factor of that because it's fear. Because if you don't want to see us come together, it's a reason for that. And I know we're dominant, and I know that my family come over my house and take over the TV, grab the remote and get in the refrigerator. Oh, we're dominant people. We take over sports. Every sport we touch, hey, we're from the motherland. The original man was found in the greatest continent on earth. Sorry, we're big brother. So let's look at it like family. No? Okay, you created the racial divide. You guys shot the nose off the Sphinx and all of that with, what's his name? Little man syndrome, Napoleon. So you guys have this racist thing on you that you just got to either admit or be truthful, because what the movie are you watching? If you say it's no racism in America, you got to be watching a different channel than history has told us. So now they take this Sugar Hill thing to court. How they got to court on this, I don't know. But the shit went through court, right? So finally the black people win. Hooray! We can actually live over here. What do the white people do? We're out of here. They pack up and sell everything, right? They're gone. So we start buying up everything. All right, cool. See you later. Don't trip over your way out on the door. Okay, yeah. Bye, Felicia. So we build. Now we got our community going. We're healthy. We have our own little stores here and there. Right, we're building our community. 2 years later, breaking news. They're building a new freeway in LA. The 10 freeway, which is going to connect downtown Los Angeles to the airport. Guess what? Traffic will be less. But unfortunately, it's got to go right through Sugar Hill. Oh, really? Huh? It can't curve around. So then some black people found, here, look, you can go around us and go this way. No, it messes things up. We got to go straight through Sugar Hill, baby. So, you know, what once was Sugar Hill, because, hold on, I'm going to take a quick little, I want to shout out my man, AZ. I used to love that song. So we chilling in Sugar Hill. We're buying houses. We got cars. You know, we seeing everybody. How's your lawn doing? Hey, Brenda. Your lawn looks great. What up? What up, Mike? Tyrone. Hey, baby. Hey. Hi, Keisha. Everybody's, you know, Sugar Hill. The kids are playing and all of that. Breaking news, the man says he's got to build the freeway right through your Sugar Hill. And guess what? They get it approved. So now the 10 freeway is being built. Eminent domain, sorry, they disproportionately displaced over 10,000 families. right? So now everybody got to move. Uh-oh. A few people might get to keep their homes, but everybody else gone, spread out through LA. I'm talking to my cousin B. My cousin Brandon was like, yeah, we used to live over there. That's how they put us over. Now we're over off Slauson because when we got out, they gave us our little bread, which I'm sure wasn't, what it was worth, and made them move to wherever you had to move to. So now you just destroyed a black community once again. Now, this is just one instance, right? So now the 10 freeway is being built. No more Sugar Hill. No more prominent black, elite black area once again. Some of the people went with their funds, like my buddy Jay was telling me, his grandfather, you could look this up too. I will post some of it later. You'll see after this podcast at the end, we'll have some links and some different information for you to see. But his grandfather, who had the insurance company, went to buy some land at Pico and Ocean right down in Santa Monica. You can look this up, where the Viceroy Hotel is today. They want to build a black, I believe it was called the Ebony Hotel or the Ebony. They were going to create a black hotel down there. Guess what the white man says? Sorry, this land isn't zoned for what you're trying to do. So they squash it. 2 years later, they rezone it, buy it, and develop it and rent it out. Just 2 years later, right? So this seems to be a pattern. When you talk about Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, they burn it down, destroy it, displace the black people. We're talking about Sugar Hill. They built the 10 freeway down the 10 freeway. Now we have the potential black hotel by Santa Monica. They say the zoning's not right. They rezone it, take that. Now, remember, there was just something in Manhattan Beach in LA where they gave a black family, I forget their name, and forgive me for this, we're going to have to do some research and post it at the end of this because I forget their name, but look it up. Black family in Manhattan Beach awarded financial settlement for the land in Manhattan Beach that was taken from a black family. Same type of thing, right? But the kicker for me is this black family got all that money. I don't know. I think it was like 20 million or something like that. I'm thinking one house in Manhattan Beach cost 20 million. And then they sold the property that they got back. They sold it right back. I'm sorry. They awarded them the property back, right? And then the family sells the property right back to the city for like some small amount or disclosed amount, which was like the amount of one house over there. So I'm thinking, hold on. For one, if you put property on the market in LA, anywhere, let alone the beachfront property, you're going to get multiple offers, which goes into a thing which is like almost like an auction per se, but it's called your highest and best offer. And you're going to have 4 or 5 people, and they're going to say, well, hey, give us your highest and best offer, which is going to drive the value and that offer way more than if you just sold it back to the city. How did this family not do that? Who was in their ear? What real estate agent told them, well, just sell it back to the city? Clearly, that was a gangster move because it makes no sense. It makes no logical sense. But also, when you think about this, imagine all the other black people, had they not taken that from those people in Black Wall Street, in Sugar Hill, in Santa Monica, and in Manhattan Beach. Had they not taken these from these black people, how many other black people would have moved their businesses and homes over there because there were like people over there, other black people where they wouldn't have burning crosses in their yards and they could actually create thriving businesses. And over time, the appreciation of those properties is out of here, the amount. I mean, those homes were probably, 20, 30 grand back then, and now they're 3 million. So you would have had growing communities over there of thousands of families that would have had generational wealth. But because they took this little land, that never happened. But all they awarded was the family. It's the same thing with reparations. How can you rape a people for 400 years, tell them they can't even read a book? If they get caught reading, they get killed. And then you do this for 400 years. Then you create Jim Crow laws. And then you create the prison industrial system that puts them racially profiled every chance they get. Every law was made to send black people back to prison. And every time we talk about reparations, y'all act dumbfounded. Huh? What are you talking about? And you know who's stupid? Not them. They're gangstering us. They playing chess, not checkers. You're stupid. I'm stupid. He's stupid. We stupid because we allow it. And we don't talk about it. We don't even hold our people who have enough money for 19 million generations, billionaires, to even talk about this stuff. Oh, stop hating and counting their money. It's not about that. It's about how are we not building our own community built on love and righteousness and raising great families in our own community. This ain't no racist thing. This is about we've been traumatized, bullied, killed, murdered, and now we want to do better for ourselves in the so-called free country that's so-called the greatest country on earth. Has a lot of great qualities in this country. I'm not going to lie. I like America, even the good, the bad, and the ugly, because it made me who I am. It made me stronger. But there's a lot of fucking poison here that has also traumatized a lot of people. And you know, we didn't just up and decide to go plant our flag in these slums of LA. You think O Block and Compton people just said, oh, let me look at the map. Okay, where's the poorest place in America? Oh, right here. Oh, Compton. A lot of killing, shooting? Great, sign me up. I want to go there. No, y'all, white America, forced these areas and put liquor stores and put drugs. These are facts. So after all of this trauma, how do you not help with the solution? Why does it seem like we're begging to even have the discussion of reparations? How is that? Help me out. What? How? How are we talking about sexy red? I get it. We want to go party later tonight as adults. But why is hands on your knees with our little daughters when they're 3 years old? And y'all are all sharing this and laughing like it's funny. How are we passing around drill rap that's talking about, yo, I'm smoking on Tuka, I murder him. Oh, it's so cool. Yo, O Block, he's a soldier. He killed him. And like it's cool. We glorifying ignorance and genocide in our own communities outside of the targeting that created it. Now, I'm not saying you don't go to the root of the problem. That's exactly what I'm saying. And the root of the problem is white supremacy. And they're never going to admit it. But it's our fault for letting them deflect. It's like a computer. If a computer has a virus, do you go crack the computer and be like, it's your fault, computer? You have a virus and break the computer? No, you go to the person that programmed the virus in the computer. The person that created gangsterism in America was white Americans back in the 1900s. Watch the movie. What's that shit called? Gangs of New York. Watch the Godfather. Those were the gangsters we thought we were emulating after we went through the trauma of slavery and civil rights and all of the trauma. And then you give us no money and no education. And then you give us drugs to self-medicate. And then you wonder why it's drama in our communities. And then you destroy the black man. He can't get a job. He can't learn the trade in school. You give the wife welfare. Now she's the boss of the house and I got welfare. What I need a man for? And I can't have a man in the house or I don't get welfare. So now you think welfare is helping? No, welfare is destroying. But we don't talk about this shit. We too busy talking about Ricky Rose. And when somebody like, what's the young brother's name? D1 comes talking about, you know, yo, y'all selling St. Ives and bean pies in the same sentence. Like Common said to one of my favorite rappers of all time, Ice Cube, who's my big bro, who put me on in the music game. And I feel it's one of the sharpest dudes out there and could be the leader of this type of change. I call on these guys. One of my guests next week, we're going to dive into this. It's going to be a surprise. But I feel like these black leaders have to be called out on it. I mean, they're too bright. And we know by history what they talked about, that they can help change these types of genocides and these types of redlining and these types of situations like we're talking about with Sugar Hill. And we're talking about with the homes in Manhattan Beach and Black Wall Street and all of these other massacre that they just bury in history in America. They just bury it and act like it's not there. Now we got the, Farrakhan's and we have the great brothers like Farrakhan. We've got the Dr. Umar's and the, I don't want to name and not name anybody good. Rizza Islam's, and it's so many, man. It's so many brothers out here. 19 Keys. It's so many cats out here with great, valuable, what's the word I'm looking for? Not just intelligent, but more just morally sound and righteous information. And sometimes it's given to you as black power, so to speak. But how can you not have that in order to get yourself up off the ground after you've dealt with what you dealt with in America? So building our communities is a major thing, because if you go to our communities now, you see a lot of liquor stores, you see a lot of people sitting outside on drugs. You just see a lot of damage. And how do we go about fixing that? The only way is to mobilize our resources. And how do we start holding these people that we hold so high on a pedestal? And I'm sorry for just shouting out like the Sexy Regs, but it's toxic. It's so many toxic artists. Lil Nas X, toxic. I could go on for days, man. And I hate to say it, and this is going to be hard for me to say. Special Ed said it on, shout out Ed. Shout out to all my brothers, Corrupt, my Baby S, man, look, these are my brothers for real. But we got to shout out gangster rap for its damages and what it's done to the hip hop game. Of course, there were positive things it did. It gave jobs, it gave hope. It was dope sonically. It went platinum. But we know for a fact the CIA used that to help destroy our community because it took away conscious rap. So I'm not saying everything needs to have a halo around it and we're just going to feed you all religious rap, but you got to have a balance. You got to have a yin and a yang. How did all of a sudden, after NWA, they just went all negative? No more conscious rap on the forefront of commercial music. You don't think that was a plan or a target? You think, oh, that just happened. Oh, they put drugs in our community. Oh, they took education away from us. Oh, they assassinate all of our leaders. But they would never prey on us and just give us bad music. Why would they do that? They wouldn't do that. That's a conspiracy theory. Use your fucking common sense, people. I'm so sick of people not using common sense. That's what this show is about. What the movie are you watching? Or you just don't want to see it? Well, those of you who want to watch the real movie, which is life, and we are all humans having this human experience and really want to talk about the real, that's what we're here for on this show. That's who I want sitting right here. And I want you, the average consumer, to hit me and say, hey, I want to be on your show and discuss these issues. I want the doctors I'm going to put some entertainers up here coming soon, because that's who y'all glorify. And that's who is going to spread the word around that this show even exists. Because right now, it's a couple hundred people. You know, how is that? How are you listening to this and not sharing it and sending it to somebody that's going to be like, you know what, you right. And how are we not starting a revolution to make this happen? Let me check my Black Entrepreneurs Watch. All right, we got what? How much more time we got? 17 minutes left. And I got 2 hours worth of info to talk to y'all about, because I could go on for days about this here. I'm trying not to cuss a lot because I want kids to be able to watch this. But what the yeah, beep it out or whatever. You know, y'all let kids listen to this crazy music. They can listen to this. I'm not disrespecting anybody or calling women bees or any of that. But sometimes when you're talking aggressively and you feel powerful about what you're saying, yeah, a few words going to slip out. But I feel like we're babying society right now. We're babying our leaders, right? Our so-called leaders. We're so-called leaders out here selling out for money. Money's great. I got a little bit. I got a little Gouda, got a little bit of cheddar. I made my life better. But I don't need 100 gazillion for trillion to be happy. I'm happy right now with what I got. So all you dudes with hundreds of millions who still talking about, yo, you should be, you know, I'm going to build a bunker and I'm going to put a Maybach in my bunker. How you going to drive it? Like, we just glorify dumb shit all day long from people who shouldn't even have that clout to be talking, because they may have had a history of being police and they're promoting drug dealing in their music. We have so many scenarios like that where these artists that we glorify don't live what they're saying, or they really do, like them Chicago rappers, and then they all end up dead shooting each other. At what point do we say enough is enough and we build more Sugar Hills? Oh, I know what I want to talk about. Let me go to my notes. We want to build more Sugar Hills. We got Ladera Heights. We got View Park. We have Windsor Hills, View Park, Ladera Heights right now. But guess what? Go outside in your community. I go to Pop's house and we sit outside and look at all the white people in all four corners who walk by us and don't even say hi. Pop's been there 50 years. They don't even say hello. I know we're new to the neighborhood. Well, we know you're new, But they don't say that. My sister used to sit out on the porch and be like, hi, welcome to the neighborhood. Because we know you ain't from over here. You wasn't here the past 30 years. So I get it. It's a little uncomfortable for them. They know they're taking over our real estate and they feel a little bit bad about it. But they're like, oh, well, you didn't buy it and we're jacking the prices up. So it's our fault. I blame the real estate agents. It's a bunch of y'all. I'm not going to say your names, but we've done deals together. I know who the great realtors are over there, but they're not trying to get, they probably are. Let me stop. Sometimes, I'm not going to say that. Sometimes they do try to get black homeowners. When I sold the few houses I did over there, I always went for you got to go for the top offer because legally that's what you have to do. But you can go for the strongest offer and it could be someone of African descent or even a minority just to keep our neighborhoods enriched with what they have always been. Black history, well, not always, but since they have become, we need to keep it that way. And it's cool. White people, we love y'all. I have so many white friends in the neighborhood now and people that help me coach at baseball. We're mixing the community up. Cool. But can we keep it at least 50-50? Because we're not really it should be 60-40 us. And we're letting y'all in and that's cool. Now you're cool. You're the cool white people that gentrified area and we come on in. It's cool. But can the rest of the 60% be African-American doctors, lawyers, plumbers, whatever, so they can raise their family around like-minded people and show the black youth that it's cool to have black friends and black family and not be the stereotypical ignorant Negro. You can actually have a business and be cool because guess what? You can take care of your family. You can take trips. You can live what these rappers are lying about. Half of them lying. They got on jewelry and all of that and don't own no property. Their money will be gone in a heartbeat. You know how quick $100,000 can go? Like that. Go buy a truck and a chain. Go buy an Escalade and a chain and then see where your bread is at. If you're not buying an appreciating asset, you're buying a depreciating asset. Until we start teaching our people this, we're failing ourselves. And we got to be straight up with even the white folks. You agents, who I'm going to get back to, should be telling people with the offers, or you should be telling a friend on the Lilo, just like they do in Arcadia with them Asian people, like they do in Hancock Park, like they do in Chinatown. Leroy Jenkins ain't getting an accepted contract in Hancock Park, Arcadia, or Chinatown. So Leroy Jenkins needs to bring his offer to Ladera Heights, to View Park, Windsor Hills. Matter of fact, all of the group funds or the crowd funds or black venture capitalist companies that we have and the Jay-Z's and all of these people, we should be buying up the Crenshaw Mall. I know my boy David A. Gross tried to, and he had the highest bid. And guess who they gave it to for the Crenshaw Mall? They gave it to a white company. And he bid a high 100,000 over the highest offer or something like that. So they were protesting. You know how media's off for 10 minutes. They were down at Crenshaw and Lamert saying, give it to him. We want this to be a black mall. Shouldn't it be our first black mall excellence? Like we claim to be Balenciaga, who, by the way, is on the child pedophilia radar, but I still see Lil Wayne and all of y'all wearing Balenciaga all the time. That's a whole nother story. Another episode for this show. But why aren't we putting the Ye shoes in Crenshaw Mall? Why aren't we putting Sean John? I know Puffy going through some shit right now, but he's still a black man. Put a Sean John store in there. Rockefeller, Jay-Z and Dame Dash arguing all the time. About what? Jay-Z, you a billionaire. Make it right with Dame Dash. Let's show people that we can do right by each other. Put a Rockefeller store in the Crenshaw Mall. Put Nipsey Hussle's Marathon store in there. The black artist who has all these great paintings that's in Lamert Park that sells around the world. Put one of his art galleries in there. And then you throw an Apple store, a Microsoft store, some of the top tier brands so it feels like a regular mall where white people, everybody could come there and have a black excellence mall. Why we ain't doing that? And if they wouldn't give it to David A. Gross, we should be taking all the gangs that y'all glorify, should be stopping construction over there. Guess what? You're not craning nothing over here to remodel the mall because you didn't sell it to the black man that put the offer on it. This is our community, our neighborhood. What are we doing about it? Letting them take the liquor bank and every little thing we get and just crumble it and then turn on Usher's back on the Super Bowl and Taylor Swift. Deflection, distraction. Trump, Biden, they're both shitty. Hello, what the movie are y'all watching? We got 70, 80-year-olds and that's our only option? But we allowing that. We the people. Go vote. Shut up. Vote. And when the electoral college is who does the real voting, our votes really don't even matter. They influence the electoral college. Y'all fools talking about voting don't even understand the process. Yes, we should vote on a lower level to put the right people in place, but it's all ran by money. Stop it. Knock it off with the bullshit. And let's get back to building our communities the right way. Shit, all you hedge funds, we should be buying up Ladera Heights ourselves until we have the right black family. We got enough white people now. I see the white people walking up and down Slauson and 62nd 3rd all damn day. It's enough for y'all now. We've got enough. Okay, great. Can we put the rest of the black people back in? I mean, shit, Ladera Heights, we could even gate that and make it a gated community of affluent black people who have had success in this country. And then we should be helping the lower tiers fix up the hood and show how we can pool money together to buy our own properties collectively and how to start companies together and do operating agreements so that nobody can screw anybody. If 5 people come together on an operating agreement of the LLC, they all buy the property. No one can walk until they all agree, and then they pay that person their 20% out. That's the only way you walk. Fair, righteous business. What are we talking about? We're going to let Ladera Heights, View Park, and Windsor Hills go too? We just let Manhattan Beach go, Santa Monica, Sugar Hill, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Could you imagine Tulsa, the Black Wall Street was growing so fast that we probably own 4 more cities or damn near the whole state. In LA, if we had Sugar Hill, Manhattan Beach, and Santa Monica as black people, all of that would have connected and we would have owned all of that. Do you think we would still be talking about, what up, cuz? What up, blood? It's 2024. We supposed to have flying cars. We still talking about cuz and blood? Give everybody a badge of honor that made it through the war of gangbanging. Here go your badge of honor. You made it through one of the toughest wars. And just like in Somalia and all these other places where they glorify Tupac and love what we do, we'll change the world. Let the Game and 50 Cent squash their beef. Let us black people set the tone and show America how to stop the war in Gaza. But what if we pieced right here in our own communities? We would change the whole world because we influence the whole world because we are the biggest influencer of the whole world. That's what hip hop has done in black culture through sports and that's kind of the gift and the curse of this country. Guess what? You shitted on black people, but guess what? We're the face of this country. We influence your kids. We influence the world. What we say is cool. Y'all copy us. So give us our fucking props and get us the trauma, loans, and businesses that we need so we can have a thriving community and be a better stepson to you in this thing called America. We're only, 12, 15% of this whole country? Yet we influence the whole world. Give us our props and what we're due. And if not, screw y'all. Black people, when we going to do it for ourselves? Why are we always asking? Dr. Umar, Rizza Islam, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent. Where we at? Jay-Z, where we at in the communities? Pass this around to them. Tell them Bambino want to know what's up. When we going to talk about what's real? We just going to keep glorifying everybody in the mirror. Oh, I'm balling. I'm rich. I got all this money. You should be inspired by me. Oh, get the fuck out of here with that. The fuck movie are y'all watching? We can all do this. Listen, everybody don't want to have a billion gazillion. Some people just want to have a nice house. I can teach you how to do that. Hit me up on my social media. I can show you how to buy property in the Midwest and be a home owner, not a renter. You can buy another home and rent that one out for income. As soon as we learn that game, which we are now, they're trying to change the laws on that too. So be careful of what they see us doing because then they try to switch the laws up and shit. You see Sugar Hill, they had it in the paperwork that Negroes could not buy property in that area. In the paperwork, you mean they had to go to court and almost won and niggas celebrated like, yay, we can move in the area. How illegal, if every man is created equal in the Constitution, which was written in buttfuck 1747, whatever the hell, I don't even remember that shit because I don't care. It means nothing to me. It needs to be revised and revamped to fit today's world. If we're going to be righteous and real, we need to amend that. Please bleep that out. Sorry, y'all. But we got to amend it. And black folks, I'm sorry, I get passionate about it. All people in this world, I love y'all. We always end this show on a positive note. And we're going to get to that part. The positive part of this is we could do it right now. Everything is one tweet away. Cat Williams had the whole world talk. The next day, everybody knows we're all one world right now. We're one tweet away from knowing what's cracking. What, I got 5 minutes or 5 seconds?
5 minutes.
Oh, I got 5 more minutes. I have a dream. No, no bullshit, man. It's serious. We're one tweet away from changing the shit right now where we could experience it in our lifetime. You know, that's the positive part of this is, okay, our neighborhoods are being gentrified. We don't got to hate the white people like that. Imagine if we gentrified their areas. Remember they used to burn crosses and shit when you bought a house in their areas? We ain't burning crosses in their yard, right? So we're welcoming them. Okay, cool. It actually slows the crime down. I'm cool with that because I bought a house in the community because I love the community. I want to buy more. I own several properties in other states. I want to buy more. I don't mind them being in the community because it's harder for the Crips to Crip when it's white people walking down the street. It's hard to bang on Sarah and Karen. How you gonna bang on you? The gangs will walk right by these white folks and jack the nigga behind them. What logic? What the like? Does that make any sense to you? You niggas in Chicago and LA, we shooting each other over blocks we don't own. Can we at least buy it? How about y'all pool y'all money together and then buy some shit on the street and then you can claim the gang, right? Or let that go and just be a homeowner with your bros. And if we got to fight and shit, can we start a boxing league or something? You know, the A-Trades versus the 60s boxing matches and make some money off the internet sales of that. We got to let the gangbanging shit go. It's over, bro. It had its run. It was set up to destroy us. Let's start the development wave. It's 2024. Let's develop our communities. We can. Obama's told you. Obama, where you at? Are y'all helping? Are we collectively going to pull ourselves? Are we going to keep saying, we need reparations? Please, master. Please. We need reparations. No, let's do it ourselves. And when we start doing it, that's when they'll help. That's when they'll come help. They'll be like, we wanted to give you this $100 million hedge fund. But we got guys like Jay Morrison, who does the Tulsa Fund, which I put like $6,000 in. And then he goes and buys the Black House in Atlanta. This is a crowd fund I'm talking about. Jay Morrison, hate to call him out, but I'm calling out names today. Shout out my son, my bro. I hope he gets on the show. I know y'all friends, whatever. Jay Morrison won't even answer my texts or calls or emails because he know I'm telling the truth. I put $6,000 up. It's another young brother, Julian something, whatever, who put up like $40,000 into the Tulsa Fund. He raised like $13 million, I believe. And it was supposed to be the first black hedge fund. It was called Black Wall Street. No, the Tulsa Fund, which was a representation of what Black Wall Street could be. So he raises all this money long and skinny, and he don't do nothing with it. He goes and buys his own office spaces, and then he's flossing in that. And everybody's asking, well, where's our money at? Where's our money at? 5 years passed, they ain't did shit. They ain't did nothing that's growing the fund. That's our problem. We can't have no more of that. We need transparency to where if we put our money together, we actually build funds and go build our communities where we can see it. Like the Crenshaw Mall. Why don't we start there, brothers? Why don't we build up the Crenshaw district, which is our black community, and then start on Slauson, just how they're doing Pico and all these other streets. But we put our own money together and put nice restaurants and nice bars, and we stop killing each other at them. Hello, brother, what you up? Let me give you my card. Oh, you make t-shirts? Oh, I need to buy 1,000 t-shirts. Oh, you detail cars? Oh, let me put you with my brother who got a car lot who sells as soon as the people sell their cars, they're going to get detailed at your shop. When are we going to start creating our own networks within this thing called the Matrix of America? Or are we just going to keep getting punked and being at the short end of the totem pole? I'm talking to you, black people. I'm talking to you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Forward this to the next person. Why do I only have 300, 400 views instead of 400 million when I'm talking to real and we would all benefit from it because we could do it right now? We could do it right now and we would be able to experience. I don't want to be the old man on the cane. Oh, niggas done finally got it together. Give me my teeth. Let me put my teeth back in. Oh, I'm going to hang. Hey, shorty, you looking good over there. Niggas finally stop killing each. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be me right now. Like, what up, yo? We popping. We just built a hotel by the beach, baby, and it's all beautiful black people acting respectably and with our own flavor still, but celebrating the beauty which is black culture within American culture. We got to change the negative image, man, and get back to the positive. But it's all love. This is What the Movie Are Y'all Watching, the podcast version. I am your host, Bambino Brown. God is in the building. Props to the Most High for waking me up. Love you, God. I love you, people. Peace, love, happiness, and spread this joint. I'm out. See you next week. I got a hell of a guest next week, so y'all better tune in. Peace.
Yeah, it's a very interesting story. We actually told a lot of folks about this story during our political special, but right afterwards I got a call from someone who knows about this firsthand. It's something a lot of people in Florida simply do not know about or have never really heard about. Scores of homes burned, people killed, all over exercising the right to vote. One Tampa man knows that story very well. The man at the center of all of it 100 years ago was his great-grandfather.
In my mind, I was definitely thinking this can't be true.
The first time Stephen Nunn heard the story of the Ocoee Massacre, it was over a hearty breakfast with his grandmother when he was a teenager.
And all of a sudden she said, you know what? She said, I'm going to tell you a story, and I'm going to share it with you. But I'm sharing it with great reservation and hesitation because I vowed I'd never talk about it again.
When she was done, he was sort of in shock. During the 1920 presidential election, a group of black Floridians went to the polls. Some were turned away, which led to a night of violence now known as the Ocoee Massacre. At the center of it, a man named July Perry. On November 2nd, 1920, Perry's friend Moses Norman, a black man, went to vote and was turned away. Both Perry and Norman had encouraged other blacks and women to vote in the 1920 presidential election, with Republican Warren G. Harding up against Democrat James Cox. That night, Perry was hanged. His wife and daughter brought to jail here in Hillsborough County. That daughter was Coretha. That's Nunn's grandmother.
Never in the history of the U.S. has a massacre such as what took place in Ocoee took place during voting time or over voting.
The story of the Ocoee Massacre on display right now at the Orange County Regional History Center in an exhibit called Yesterday, This Was Home.
At the end of the night, 2 white men have been killed. An unknown number of black people have been murdered. That is a number we will probably never know.
But curator Pam Schwartz says it was about more than just money. It was about the land that blacks owned.
Over several years, there is an ongoing series of land sales. The land was not just sort of snapped up by the white community and the black people fled. The black community did try to fight and keep their land.
Stephen Nunn's great-grandparents lost all of it.
And all of that land, the only way to put it today is it was robbed. They were robbed.
And now he wants this tragic story of his family's loss to serve as a lesson to the nation.
He was a just man. He was a community man, and he had to pay an awesome price over a principle that we still debate today, and some are lackadaisical about it.
And to this day, almost 100 years later, which will be on November 2nd, no one has ever been brought to justice for the Ocoee Massacre. This week, by the way, the city of Ocoee is hosting a week-long celebration to honor and remember the Ocoee Massacre, and really all of the African Americans who call that home. It will culminate with the unveiling of a historic marker to remember the victims and all of the African Americans who live there.
You know, and so eye-opening coming up to an election, so many people not taking advantage of voting. They have this opportunity to see what has happened to people in the past.
And you see what happened when people were trying to get other folks to the polls to vote, and you don't use that right. That's why people talk about voting is so important.
Powerful stuff. Rod, thank you.
Rod, thank you.